Hello, and welcome everybody to the second part of the Lore of Arnor series. In the first part, we discussed how the Numenorean exploration laid the foundations for the establishment of the Kingdom of Arnor, but also how it negatively influenced the environments around the Gwathlo River. In part 2, we will talk about the actual founding of the Kingdom of Arnor in the aftermath of the fall of Numenor. We will also have a look at the founder, Elendil, and the Palantiri he brought to Middle-earth. Near the end of the Numenorean era, before the fall, many Numenoreans chose the side of Sauron. There were even temples built for Morgoth on Numenor. Not all Numenoreans chose to side with Sauron, however. The Faithful, as they were called, were led by Elendil, and they fled the island of Numenor before it was destroyed. Elendil was the lord of Andúine. He openly opposed Ar-Pharazôn, just like his father Amendil. Elendil also was friends with the elves. He had two sons, called Isildur and Anarion. Together with the rest of the faithful, they fled Numenor in 9 ships. They did this because Elendil's father foresaw the destruction that would befall Numenor. When they fled, they took the Palantiri, which are seeing stones that they were given by the elves. The 9 ships took off together, but during their voyage they separated. Elendil arrived in the north in the lands of Eriador, near Lindon. His sons, Isildur and Anarion, landed in the Stony Lands, near the Numenorean colony of Pelargir. This is why 2 Numenorean kingdoms came into existence. However, I think this probably would have happened anyway, as there were already some Numenoreans living in the areas that later became Arnor and Gondor. These kingdoms didn't have a shared border, however. The lands of Enedwaith were claimed by neither Arnor nor Gondor. Elendil was thus the one who founded the Kingdom of Arnor, and his sons founded the Kingdom of Gondor. Elendil became the High King of the 2 kingdoms. This title later remained for the kings of Arnor, while the King of Gondor just had the title of King. This was, however, after the 2 kingdoms split. Elendil founded the city of Annúminas, which became the capital of the Kingdom of Arnor. The city was situated at the shores of Lake Evendim. This was probably a good location because the river Brandywine originates from this lake, which gives the city access to the sea. Besides that, Annúminas is also located close to Lindon, where the elves lived. The elves were good friends of Elendil. Arnor was first favored over Gondor as a Numenorean kingdom because of the proximity to these elves living in Lindon. Annúminas was built in the architecture of Numenor. The Numenoreans had great knowledge and skill in building, which they took with them to Middle-earth. Elendil lived in Annúminas during his rule. The eventual kingdom was located between the river Lune, the river Gwathlo, and the sea in the south, and the sea in the north. Now we will have a look at the Palantiri, which were taken by the faithful. Although I will probably make a separate video on the Palantiri, as they are one of the most fascinating artifacts in all of Tolkien's legendarium. They played a major role in the War of the Ring. We will first shortly explore what the Palantiri are and their history. The Palantiri, or seeing stones, were created by arguably the best craftsman to ever live, Fëanor, who also created the Silmarils. The Palantiri could be used to see far away and communicate with the other seeing stones. They were given to the Numenoreans and taken to Middle-earth by Elendil and his sons. 3 of the 7 stones ended up in the northern kingdom of Arnor. 1 seeing stone ended up in the capital Annúminas. That wasn't the only artifact kept in Annúminas. The other was the Scepter of Annúminas. This was a hereditary artifact, a silver rod of the lords of Andúine, back in Numenor. After the fall of Numenor, this scepter ended up in Rivendell with Elrond. There were two other Palantiri in Arnor. One was located in the watchtower of Amon Sul, also known as Weathertop. This is where Frodo gets stabbed by the Witch King in the Fellowship of the Ring. This is where the strongest of the Palantir was located. This was done because of the strategically important location in between Annúminas and Rivendell. Amon Sul was located besides the Great East Road. Because of the elevated location, the Palantir located here gave great vision over the surrounding lands. The other Palantir was located in Elostirion. This was one of the 3 towers built by the Noldor elven king Gil-galad in honor of Elendil after he arrived in Middle-earth after fleeing Númenor. 3 of the other Palantiri were located in the southern Numenorean kingdom of Gondor, and another Palantir was located in the Tower of Orthanc. As said before, the Seeing Stones established contact between the 2 kingdoms. They were often placed in towers to use them to see far places. In Arnor, one was in the watchtower of Amon Sul, which would give sight of the eastern border of Arnor. The stone in Elostirion was often visited by Elendil to watch the sea in the west. So to conclude, the faithful settled in Middle-earth near the area where some Numenoreans were already living because of the colonies established earlier. Arnor was also founded in Eriador because of its proximity to the elven kingdom of Lindon, where Elendil's friend Gil-galad was king. Besides bringing their Numenorean knowledge and skill, the faithful also brought the Seeing Stones, which they used to communicate between the 2 kingdoms. Thank you all for watching this video on the Lore of Arnor. In part 3, we will discuss the War of the Last Alliance and the role that Arnor had in this war. We will also look at the role of Elendil and his sons. Don't forget to post any questions in the comments, which I will answer in a Q&A video at the end of this series. If your comment starts with Q&A, I will make a note of your question and answer it in that video.